Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Festus. Now, today let's talk about the housing crisis in Australia. Now, if you are in Australia or you're considering coming to Australia for whatever reasons, whether for work or as a student, housing is not something you'd want to ignore at this point in time. So this is a topic you might be interested because housing in Australia at the moment is, at a crisis level. And there has been a lot of house, demands, and the supply is not enough to meet those high demands. So over the last few years, the Australian population has been growing, but the supply of the houses has not been keeping up with the demand. And so as a result, what has happened is there has been a lot of people in the country compared to the existing infrastructure, and that as a result has driven the prices quite high. It's a sad situation at the moment because so many Australians are missing out on, rental properties, and many people have been forced to, even to live in tents. And one of the reasons why there is a lot of, houses, shortage is in the last few years, there has been a high number of people coming into the Australia. For example, the post-COVID, pandemic, so many people came into the country. About 510,000 people came into the country, and this has driven the demand for houses too high, because remember during the COVID there was no much infrastructure development, which is one of the key reasons why we are still experiencing low number of houses. One of them is because there was no suitable land for residential construction near the big cities where people want to live. The only land that was available maybe is far away, where most Australians may not be willing to stay. And another reason is the labor shortage, and this was as a result of the travel restrictions, because out of skilled workers could not travel to Australia, and this led to a severe labor shortage. And another reason is the materials were not available. So the shortage in materials also delayed a lot of things, the construction of housing and stuff like that. And also over the last few years, the Australia has been experiencing decreasing interest rates, which is also another factor that has contributed to all this. So if you are considering probably coming to Australia for either study or for work, this would be my advice for to you, that before you actually come into Australia, it's good to have a well-planned accommodation services, because currently, if a house, if there is a inspection for any particular house and there is viewing, there are so many people who are going to check on that property. And sometimes what is happening is that some people are willing to pay extra money to secure that property. If you are coming from overseas, you cannot get a permanent accommodation while you are still in overseas. You need to be here to view the house, to attend the viewing, to register, and you follow the normal procedures. So it's good for you to have well-planned accommodation. If you are coming as a student, you could consider asking your education agent to plan something for you if you don't have anyone to accommodate or to house you here in Australia, and that will save you a lot of frustrations. And another thing you could consider, maybe temporary accommodation services such as Airbnb, or you could jump into the internet and check websites like flatmates.com.au, where you can get somewhere where you can share with someone, or you can stay on low budget hotels until you get somewhere permanent to stay. But it is important to bear in mind that there is a lot of crisis in Australia, and so coming to Australia without proper arrangement for any accommodation services, you might find yourself frustrated. I'm not scaring you, I'm saying as it is, because even for people in Australia, it's becoming harder and harder to buy any house because the prices have gone like 3 times, and this depends on the city. The bigger cities, it's hard to get an accommodation and the prices have like tripled, while the salaries have only gone maybe I think 2 times. So if it used to take you maybe 10 years or 5 years to, for instance, to save for a deposit for a house, it's gonna be harder because you need more time to save for you to get that deposit. And again, with the changing prices, if it takes 10 years, by the time you finish 10 years, the prices have gone higher again, and so you still require more money for you to get into property buying. And while on the other side, the property owners could have tripled their their properties, and yeah, it's a sad situation, but it's good for you to know, because it's becoming harder for the Australians here to get a house. For you, before you come, it's good to plan things. It's our hope that things will change. Few things are happening. More land is being released. Federal government is working with the state governments to build more houses, and so we don't know how this will take. There's others are saying it by 2024 things could have changed, but we can only wait and see. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. I always wish the best for you, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please, before you go, just smash that subscribe button. Be part of this family, the only channel that brings you all about Australia. And don't forget to enable that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye.